My 18F best friend, 18F, just confessed that she's in love with me. First time posting on Reddit, so bear with me skeptical. My 18F best friend, also 18F, just confessed that she's in love with me. This came as no surprise. We've known each other since we were little kids, and lately, she's been dropping a lot of hints that she's interested in me romantically. This summer she broke up with her boyfriend, in name only. They never went on dates and only really called each other partners at school, and has been telling me that she's been in love with a girl. It's been heavily implied that this girl is me, but I defaulted to my usual practice of ignoring the situation, pretending to be oblivious, and letting the person with a crush on me make the first move. Well, this week she made the first move. I live pretty far away from her because we go to different schools, but she sent me a really lovely letter confessing her love. In the letter were all sorts of cute mementos and pictures, and even a song playlist of romantic oldies. She's a really sweet person, is kind to absolutely everyone, and I really like the idea of being in a relationship with her. The distance wouldn't be a problem because I'm planning on transferring to a school closer to home next semester. Her letter told me to take my time responding and that she'd continue to be my best friend no matter what my response was. It all sounds like a dream come true. Except for 3 big problems. 1. I've had very little experience when it comes to relationships, and I'm really not sure what my sexuality is. All I know for relatively sure is that I'm not interested in boys, and that I had a maybe crush on a heterosexual female friend of mine who I'm no longer in contact with. The girl who just confessed to me has been my best friend for more than a decade, and I don't want to hurt her or think of her as an experiment. 2. My mental health is trash. I've been in worse slumps, but I'm seriously struggling to function in my day-to-day life. This is the main reason why I'm moving back closer to home. I'm confused about my feelings for my best friend is because I haven't been feeling a lot of things in general lately. Everything has just been May. She's amazingly supportive of this, but it's not something she should have to deal with in a relationship. 3. My family is homophobic. I love them so much, and they're one of the few things that still make me happy, but we live in a very conservative area and they would not be happy if I started dating a girl. I need to be on the best terms I can be with my family because I'm moving back. I don't know how long I could hide that I'm in a relationship with my friend, and I don't think it's fair to her to have to hide it. Should I try things out with her? Since she's so supportive, we could probably test things out, and if it causes problems we go back to being just friends. Or should I tell her to wait until my situation gets better? Either way, how do I respond without hurting her? Too long didn't read. My 18F childhood best friend, 18F, just confessed her feelings to me, and I'd love to try and be in a relationship with her, but my mental health is a dumpster fire and my family is homophobic. Talk to her and let her know about your mental health. Be honest and let her know your concerns. I really hope your family can move past their biases. I hope they can too. It physically hurts me when they tell my younger siblings, who I'm very close to, homophobic things. Avoiding love out of fear is one of the great regrets. Always follow love. Always. That's so but today I fucked up. Honestly, I think the best thing to do is explain exactly what you wrote here to her. I'm sure she will appreciate the honesty, and that way, she can also take those facts into consideration. Maybe knowing these things, she will decide you guys are better as friends since it's not worth risking your lifelong friendship. Or maybe she would still like to see where things could go. This is going on the assumption that you do want to try a relationship with her, which is what I'm getting from your post. But either way, as long as you're game, it's up to her to decide if she's okay with the circumstances or not. Don't decide for her and potentially miss out on something special. Good luck, wishing you too well. It all sounds like a dream come true. Except for 3 big problems. If it all sounds like a dream come true, then those 3 problems are not reasons to not do it. They're hurdles. Tough hurdles, but just hurdles. Be true to yourself and follow happiness. I'm sorry your situation makes this harder. Good luck 333! Exclamation mark. Thank you for being so sweet. Your comment definitely improved my outlook on my life in the future. Especially since lately I've just been trying to work through the present. It makes me feel better to think that if I can get over these hurdles, then things can be better on the other side. My 29F boyfriend, 32M, accuses me of cheating every time I have to work late after finding out my boss, 29M, is my ex. I've been dating Joseph for 3 years now and I've been working for Company X for 2. I recently got a small promotion which requires me to work late a lot more than I used to. It also means I have to work a lot more closely with my ex, Aiden. When Joseph and I first started dating, we briefly talked about our previous relationships/sexual history. I mentioned Aiden was my first boyfriend/love/time and he told me about his exes. He also knew I was still friends with Aiden and briefly met him once when we first started dating. I also mentioned his family-owned Company X when I took the job. So, I've never been/tried to be secretive about my history with Aiden. During the lockdown, my friends from college and I would have weekly Zoom parties just so we could all catch up with another and so the friends who lived alone didn't feel so lonely. Aiden was in those chats. We ended up reminiscing during one of those chats and someone jokingly mentioned how they thought Aiden and I would be married by now with 6 kids. This used to be a running joke when we were in college. Joseph overheard and once I got off the call, he started asking me questions about Aiden. He kept saying I never told him he was my ex and he would have been uncomfortable with us still being friends if he had known. I definitely mentioned it to him and also, he's friends with at least 2 of his exes and has always said he doesn't see the big deal with being friends with an ex. Now that I'm working from the office again, I usually finish late and he's constantly implying I'm cheating. Aiden dropped me home last week since we finished so late and Joseph was livid when he saw him. He kept asking me why I didn't just ask him to pick me up, which in hindsight I should have, but it was late, and Aiden offered. He started demanding I quit my job and has been giving me the silent treatment since because I refused. I can't realistically quit my job. The pandemic will make it hard for me to find another position and I don't think I could find a job with as good benefits/salary as this one. What else can I do to make him realize I'm not cheating and have no plans to? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend overheard my college friend making a joke about me and my boss. We have to regularly work late together and he's now convinced I'm cheating on him. Okay, Joseph can't make you quit a job, that's ridiculous. He's clearly reacting to something, real or imagined, since you and Aids have been working more closely. Talk to Joseph properly. Quitting job is off the table, but what specifically is bothering him? Maybe he's getting a vibe, maybe something else is going on and he's projecting, maybe he's seeing something in Aiden or your behavior that you're missing, but talk to him. You need to look at this from a different perspective. What would you do if the tables were turned? If you want your current relationship to work, you need to sit down and talk with him with that POV in mind. You also need to draw the line in the sand with Aiden. You'll come in early to work from home if needed, work through lunch breaks, but no more working late and definitely no rides home from him. Most of us are more than capable of working from home unless it's a blue-collar job you're doing. You need to give him some peace of mind that he's in a stable and secure relationship. You would want the same respect. Look at it as if the shoe was on the other foot. How would you feel about everything you just posted? I would just tell Aiden that you can't work late at the office, but you will do the work from home if you can. Under no circumstances, if you have to work late at the office, do you let Aiden drive you home. Call your boyfriend and ask him to pick you up when you are done. Give him enough time to get there just as you are finishing up. And lastly, make sure you set clear boundaries for Aiden. To be honest, I wouldn't date someone whose boss is their ex. That's a huge conflict of interest and, yeah, seeing your so get driven home late at night by their ex isn't exactly a pretty picture. Sounds like this is messy all around. You can't quit your job, so he's either going to have to get over it or break up with you. Agreed. BF isn't reacting well to all this, but it's not unreasonable for him to be uncomfortable given the circumstances. Staying out late and getting dropped off by an ex isn't going to go over well in most relationships. When you were reminiscing with your ex-boyfriend and people mentioned how they expected you to still be together, what was your reaction? Did you shut it down? Did you mention being happy with your current boyfriend? Or did you giggle and agree that you had some great times? What was Aiden's reaction? Does he have a partner? Or is he single with no one to go home to, and he's always ready and willing to make things a late night? Because BF is not bothered by them saying that, he's absolutely bothered by what your reaction, which you haven't mentioned at all. My partner would never, ever be comfortable with jokes like that, and she'd make it clear that she likes her current life more than the one she was reminiscing about. My family is telling me to let my boyfriend go while he is in the mental hospital. Monday, October 19th, my boyfriend, M19, dropped, F18, me off to school in NYC, and he wasn't seen from again. Wednesday night he's found in New Jersey, and I knew he had mental health issues, but I didn't think they were that bad. Bad enough to have him run off and go to a whole different state. Anyways, during this whole time the police did absolutely nothing, and we worked our asses off finding him. Now that we found him, my mom is questioning what him and I are at this point. All I care about is him getting the help that he needs, and his overall mental health. I don't think that it's right that my mother is trying to make me choose to stay or leave, especially during this fragile time. She's saying that I'm young, and that I shouldn't waste time on him. I want to be there for him as much as I possibly can, and if he needs me I want to be there. What should I do? We've been together for almost a year. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend is in a mental hospital. My mom wants me to stop dealing with him. I'm not sure what to do. If he doesn't get the help he needs and doesn't get his mental issues under control, then your mother is sadly right. As much as you might care for and love him, you are spinning your wheels trying to have a stable, adult relationship with him because he is not capable of doing so in return. So, whilst you are free to make your own choice here, remember that you can love someone but know that they are not a good choice for you romantically. You cannot fix him, and you cannot have a relationship with someone who is incapable of handling themselves as an adult, whether due to illness or any other reason. Time will tell, so for now just proceed with caution and see how things go. Hopefully he will get effective treatment from here. He needs to be healthy in order to be in a healthy relationship. You are not his keeper. When I was actually your exact age, I was in love and dating a guy who was very mentally unstable, and I put in every effort I could to be there for him, and help in any way possible. It was extremely stressful and heart-wrenching for me, as I really wanted for him to get better, but he kept struggling mentally. He kept doing things like not talking to me for a while, or pushing me away, to then telling me that he didn't know what he would do without me. I started to constantly be anxious that he would hurt himself, and fell into a really bad depression. My grades plummeted and so did my social life, but I just wanted to be there for him. He ended up attempting suicide and being put in a mental hospital, and I wasn't able to see him for a long time. We ended up breaking up because of it. And over the next year I ended up attempting suicide, and it took me a long time of therapy and medicine to recover mentally. Point being, you are in a time in your life where you are doing critical mental growth, figuring out who you are, and even just on a biological level. You do not have the ability to deal with his mental health, just like he doesn't. He needs professional help and support to get better, not a girlfriend. He needs to be focusing on himself and has no time or mental energy to be dealing with a relationship. I understand more than most exactly how you feel. Take advice for someone who did stick around because they couldn't bear to leave him. It did not help him get any better even if he felt like he needed me, and it literally almost killed me and took 2 years of my youth away from me. It is not selfish for you to leave him, it will be beneficial for both you and him.